the bottom bracket. This is a square taper bottom bracket. This particular one has a lock ring on it, then a cup, and there's a near identical cup to this, just without a lock ring on the opposite side. Put in a picture here of that. Actually, I can show you. Open this up. Here's what we're dealing with. This is greasy as can be, which is a good thing. Used to be years ago, they never greased these. Now, pretty oily when you take them out, so that's good. So here is the spindle, and the reason this is called a square taper, see right there, this is square and it's tapered. It kind of flares. It's more narrow up top and it flares out. And the crank arm presses onto this. That's what holds it. Well, there's a bolt that holds it as well, but it slides on. There's a lot of tension here. Oddly enough, they can work themselves loose. Frequently do here on these square tapers, but trying to get them off, almost a nightmare. Really funny. Hard to keep them on, can barely get them off. And how this all goes together, there are bearings. Get my bearings down in here and get the cups where they need to go. I don't know if you can hear this stereo bumping in the background. So annoying. It's like water torture. Can't tune it out. Unfortunately, in my neighborhood it's constant, so I apologize if you hear that. But this is what is together here. Down in this bottom bracket, it sits literally just like this. So sandwiched inside here, and this tightens in. This bottom bracket's threaded, as you'll see when we remove it. This is threaded. And you can see these are threaded. And they tighten in on both sides, tension together, and then it's locked in place with this lock ring to keep it from coming out. But not only are these bizarrely tight when they're on from the factory, and I think I identified one reason when I was taking the ledge apart. There was some paint on the threads, which can kind of act like Loctite basically. But also, these are often, if you ever have, yeah, like this one. This is, I can't even move it. That shouldn't be that hard to move, and I can feel lots of tension here, which not only creates drag, I mean this should move freely, or reasonably freely, but I'm actually, well, look at that. I can hang it up in the air. This should drop down. So what that tells me is that this is over-tensioned from the factory. Unfortunate, but all too common, especially on big box bikes, but this is what we're dealing with. There's just bearings down in there, little cage bearings. They're not loose, they're cage bearings. I've seen people say that they're loose. They are not. And it's sandwiched together and pressed in. Now, getting this off can be difficult. There are specific tools to do this. The first tool, and the most prominent, or the one you really have to have, is this. This is a bottom bracket removal tool. You can see it has splines on it, and they correspond with the little notches that are all around the cup. And this is on both sides. And it seats down in there. You put enough tension and it will come off. Can be difficult to work with because you have to have a lot of forward pressure, and as we've already talked about, these can be over tightened, over tensioned. You know if it's over tensioned that it's over tightened. So they can be a little difficult to get off. So I cheat. I use a cheat that the local bike shop taught me. As a matter of fact, this tool, I've used this one dozens of times, even had the local bike shop call me. And I don't know if there's broke or whatever, but they've had a difficult to remove bottom bracket and called, hey, can you bring that tool down so we can use it with our impact? And they do that. So I'll get to that in just a second, but there's a second tool. It hooks on to, has a, I forget the name of the tool, but it's curved and it has a couple little hooks, and it'll go into the notches on this lock ring and loosen that. I have one. Where I put it, I have no idea, because I don't even use it anymore. I cheat my way. I use a flathead screwdriver and a hammer, in this case Park Tool hammer, and loosen this, which I'll get to in just a second. But first, my 1.5 version of this #1 tool, that's my cheater. I use a Craftsman impact driver. This is my 120, I believe, foot-pound is what this maxes out at. Impact driver, and sometimes this doesn't work, and I have to go to an even heavier duty one. So we'll see how this one works, and this should drive this off. But first, I've got to get this lock ring loosened up. Now, as I've mentioned, there is a specific tool to do this with, which normally I'm a person that likes to use the right tool, but in this case I found it easier just to use a screwdriver. The trick here, making sure the screwdriver edge doesn't dig into the actual bottom bracket material of the frame. That's why I use a stubby here, so I can have more control. And I just get it right on the edge. Give it a little drop. Okay, post pickup, I forgot to reset the camera, so I've actually got this started, but just a couple of taps, just being careful. Let's see, loosen up that. And again, I'm very cautious with my lip. Very, very cautious. Don't want to eat that up. Okay, so I have this loosened up. Now I can use the impact driver to get at this. Now this is the left side of the bike, left side, leg side. That's the way I always remember it. L left, L leg. So if you're sitting on top of the bike, this is going to be where your left leg is. So for this one, it's going to loosen like a normal bolt would loosen, counterclockwise. Tool on impact driver. It's going to get a little loud, so a headphone warning. Let's see how tight this is on. That came right off. Super easy. So this side, not bad, but usually this is the easy side. It's the other side that can be testy. I also want to mention why I didn't just use the impact driver and my socket without loosening this. Well, there's a reason I'll loosen this. I like to see the threads, to see what's happening as I'm removing everything, because if I see a bunch of metal slivers, I'm going to stop right there, because I know that this is cross-threaded in there, and maybe a case where I want to just run it back in and stick with this bottom bracket, just properly tension it as best I can, because if they're stripped and you pull that all the way out, well, that's problems. Let me just pull this out. And there's our spindle. And we still have a bearing that's in this other cup on the other side. But here we go. Let's look and see what we have here. Sometimes, yep, here we go. See, that is a little metal flex. Looks like an aluminum. So just some manufacturing slag. Yeah, I can feel some roughness there. There's where these tubes meet, there's holes. And that's what that is. And that's why it was on the inside here. Let's look at this bearing. There's a rubber seal, and that's a lot of people don't know that these have this. You do have a rubber seal. Seal it out from water getting in there, which is good. There's our bearings. They roll pretty well, free rolling, so not bad. That's this side. They'll go together like that. Let's get the other side off. That can be the difficult. Here's a good look on this drive side at that seal. You can see it in place there. And behind it, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the bearings behind that, the cage bearing. No lock ring on this drive side. That's only on the non-drive side, so I don't need these. I can get straight to my impact driver and my tool to get this off. Important note before doing this. The left side, just like a nut or a bolt, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. This drive side, opposite, righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So I want to make sure that I'm going clockwise to try to remove this. And let's see how much this takes. What was that? 2 or 3 bumps of this. So pretty stout. Get this off, and I don't see any aluminum shavings on my threads here. That's what I'm always checking, always inspecting as I'm doing this. That's why I don't do it all in one quick burst. See, this comes out. Our bearing's still in there, but there's our seal. Here's the bearing. Again, greased. See the grease on it from the factory? Another good look at that seal. And see, they did a really good job with the lubrication on this particular bottom bracket. I mean, look at that. A lot of grease there. That's a good sign. That means that they are properly lubricating things now. Not always has that happened in the past. Clean these threads up just a bit. See if we can get a good look at them. Yeah, they look nice. Perfectly fine. And before I install this video, it's not going to be about installing a new bottom bracket, but you know, I like to use the external bearing bottom brackets. Save weight, a little stronger, less hassle, less adjustment. But the threads look good, but you can see a little bit of paint. They don't cap these before they overspray, or before they spray the paint. It's kind of funny because up on the head tube, it's like they put the cup in and then paint the bike. So a little different there. So what have we learned? We've learned that these are properly lubricated for the most part, a couple of metal shavings, and that they are definitely tight on this drive side, tighter than they should be, because if I didn't have that impact driver, I wouldn't have got this off. Using the tool, just leverage, it'll pop out of that cup. Those notches in the cup, the splines, you can't get good leverage. And that's why I cheat and use an impact driver. It's so much easier and well worth the investment. So there you go. Bottom bracket removal, mongoose ardor, but this is the same on pretty much all of the new Schwinn's, the boundary, the taft, the axum, the ledge, the mongoose ledge, all have this exact same bottom bracket type. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you found it informative, and I hope you're subscribed and have that notification bell active, and that you're subscribed to my Kev Central channel. Probably if you're here for this, you most definitely, I would think, know of Kev Central, but my other channel. Thanks for watching Kev Reviews. Have a great day.